Hi, Dave here. I have a tour of a Unitron Model 150. This is a 4-inch f/15 refractor telescope, and this dates to the 1950s or so. The way I can tell it's dated at the 1950s is by the unique black tip on the dew shield. Also, the slow motion control here for azimuth is a screw type. This has got a worm screw and a worm wheel inside, and this is a fairly expensive way to build a slow motion control, and they later upgraded or downgraded perhaps to the tangent arm motion. The tangent arm motion is a bit simpler, a bit less expensive to manufacture, probably just as effective as this. I'm going to show you a close-up of that, and in addition to that I'll show you a close-up of the other slow motion control for altitude. The way this works for altitude slow motion is, first of all, you can make a course adjustment like so. You tighten this down. This thing has a screw, captured screw. You move this and it slowly moves the telescope up and down. So you change the altitude in that fashion. I'll show you a close-up of both of those. Okay, here's a close-up of the pillar and claw. This is the pillar and claw mechanism. You can see that the telescope has two ears, metal ears, and then it slips into a claw kind of a device. You can tighten it down there, although you don't want it too tight or it won't move. This is the close-up of the altitude adjustment screw. It's got fairly fine threads on this, and the altitude adjustment is pretty good. You can loosen this, move it all the way up, all the way down. See, this is pivoting slightly. Here's a close-up of the azimuth adjustment. I had this apart the other day to re-grease it. This was not very well maintained over the years, so I had to take it apart, re-grease this the column here, and it was, I mean, the grease was about 60 years old or so. So I re-greased it, and it moves very nicely now. There is a way of locking it down here. There's a mechanism to tighten that down, to lock it, so that once you lock it, you use this for the slow motion controls. I have been using this telescope for the last couple of nights. I have not really needed to lock it down in azimuth, and I find that friction is enough by itself to hold it down. You can use this then to make the fine adjustments. In windy conditions, I suppose you might have to really cinch it down a little bit, but then your image would be shaking around a lot anyway, probably not worth observing. So that's the way the Unitron Model 150 venerable 4-inch telescope from the 1950s operates. Thank you very much. This concludes my tour of the Unitron Model 150 venerable 4-inch telescope from the 1950s. Thank you very much.